Please, just tell me what to do first. You decide!
Let me guess. You've got a to-do list right now with at least 12 things on it. Maybe it's in your Notes app, maybe it's on a sticky note that's been following you around for 3 weeks, or maybe it's one of those beautiful productivity apps that promise to change your life, but mostly just sends you notifications about how behind you are. And here's the thing, you're never going to finish it. Not because you're lazy, not because you lack discipline, but because your to-do list is fundamentally designed to fail you. It's actually working against your brain's natural operating system, and today I'm going to show you exactly why and what to do instead. Traditional to-do lists create what psychologists call decision fatigue disguised as productivity. Every time you look at that list, your brain has to make a series of exhausting micro-decisions. What should I do first? What's most important? How long will this take? Do I have time for this right now? What if I start this and don't finish? And here's where it gets worse. According to research from the Zeigarnik effect, your brain doesn't differentiate between a task you haven't started and a task you haven't finished. They both create the same mental weight. So that list of 20 items, your brain is treating all 20 as simultaneously incomplete, which creates a constant background hum of anxiety that researchers have found actually impairs your ability to focus. But wait, there's more fun neuroscience. When you write something on a to-do list, your brain gets a tiny hit of dopamine. It feels productive. You've captured the task. Problem solved, right? Wrong. Your brain now thinks the work is partially done just because you wrote it down. This is called goal substitution, where the act of planning replaces the act of doing. So you're stuck in this weird loop where your to-do list makes you feel accomplished without actually accomplishing anything, while simultaneously overwhelming you with decision fatigue and incomplete task anxiety. No wonder you keep rewriting the same items every Monday. Here's the problem with to-do lists that nobody talks about. They treat everything as equally important. They treat reply to mom's text the same as finish quarterly report. Your brain knows these aren't equal, but the list doesn't care. This creates what I call false equivalence paralysis. You look at your list and think, well, I could knock out these 3 easy things, so you spend 15 minutes replying to emails and reorganizing your desk. You checked things off. You feel productive. Except the thing that actually mattered, the one that would move your career forward or finish that project, just got bunked to tomorrow's list. Again. And there's another insidious problem. To-do lists have no sense of time. Call the dentist sits next to learn Spanish like they're both equally achievable in a random Wednesday afternoon. Your brain looks at this temporal chaos and essentially throws up its hands. Research from behavioral psychology shows that humans are terrible at estimating how long tasks take. We typically underestimate by 40%. So when you make a to-do list, you're creating a fantasy schedule that was doomed before you start it. Then you feel like a failure when you don't complete it, which tanks your motivation for tomorrow. The to-do list isn't helping you. It's gaslighting you into thinking you're bad at productivity, when really you're just using a broken system. So what's the alternative? It's stupidly simple, which is why most people resist it. Time blocking with only 3 priorities. Here's how it works. Every evening, not morning, evening, you identify exactly 3 things that absolutely must happen tomorrow. Not 12, not 8, 3. These are your non-negotiables. If you do nothing else, these 3 things will make tomorrow a successful day. But here's the filter you need to use. Ask yourself, will I regret not doing this tomorrow night? Not, should I do this, or would this be nice to finish? Will you actually regret it? Most of those tasks on your current list, honest answer is no. You'll just feel mildly annoyed and roll them over again. Your 3 priorities should be the ones where the answer is genuinely yes. Then, and this is the crucial part, you assign each one a specific time block in your calendar. Not sometime in the morning, not when I have time. You literally book an appointment with yourself. Write report, 9 a.m., 10:30 a.m. That's it. Why does this work when to-do lists fail? 4 reasons. First, it eliminates decision fatigue. You're not deciding what to work on 14 times a day. You decided once, last night, when your brain was fresh. When 9 a.m. hits, you don't think. You just start writing the report because that's what's on the calendar. Second, it forces you to be realistic about time. You can't pretend you'll do 12 things when you only have 7 hours. You have to face reality and choose what actually matters. This is uncomfortable, which is why people avoid it, but it's also what makes it effective. Third, it creates what psychologists call implementation intentions, a specific plan for when and where you'll do something. Studies show this increases your likelihood of following through by 300% compared to vague intentions like, I should do this today. Fourth, it respects Parkinson's law. Work expands to fill the time available. When you give yourself all day to do something, it takes all day. When you give yourself 90 minutes, your brain kicks into focus mode. And here's the bonus. You're building what I call completion momentum. Every day you finish your 3 things, your brain gets actual proof that you can do what you said you'd do. That's real confidence, not the fake productivity high from checking off buy stamps on a list with 40 items. Now, I know what you're thinking, but what about all the other stuff that needs to get done? Here's the truth bomb. Most of it doesn't matter as much as you think. That's not motivational fluff. That's the Pareto principle in action. Roughly 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. Those 3 priority tasks, that's your 20%. The other stuff, the emails, the little errands, the would-be-nice-to-do items, they either get done in the gaps between your priority blocks or they don't. And here's the wild part. When they don't get done, usually nothing bad happens. You just had a distorted sense of their importance because they were cluttering your to-do list next to the stuff that actually mattered. I want you to try something this week. When you don't do one of those other tasks, write down what consequence actually happened. Not what you worried might happen, what actually happened. I'm guessing 90% of the time the answer is nothing or someone sent a follow-up email. That's it. Meanwhile, the important work that moves your life forward keeps getting postponed because you're drowning in fake urgency. And yes, emergencies happen. Things come up. But when you've already done your 3 priorities, handling an unexpected crisis doesn't derail your entire day. It just fills time you would have spent on lower priority stuff anyway. Here's the shift. Stop trying to do everything and start protecting the things that matter. Your to-do list trained you to be reactive. This system trains you to be intentional. That's the difference between being busy and being effective. The goal isn't to become a robot who only does 3 things per day. The goal is to guarantee that the 3 things that truly move the needle get done, regardless of what chaos unfolds. Everything else is bonus rounds. Here's your challenge, and you can start tonight. No more to-do lists for the next 48 hours. Instead, tonight before bed, identify exactly 3 things that would make tomorrow a successful day. Write them down, yes, write them down, but not on a list. Put them directly into your calendar with specific time blocks. Be honest about how long they'll actually take. Add 25% more time than you think you need. Remember, you're bad at estimating. Tomorrow, when those time blocks arrive, treat them like meetings you can't miss, because that's exactly what they are. Meetings with your future self, who's really hoping you'll show up. Here's a pro move. Put your phone on airplane mode during these blocks. Close your email. Tell your brain that for this 90 minutes, nothing else exists. You'll be shocked at how much you can actually accomplish when you're not bleeding attention to 13 other things. If you finish early, great. If other tasks need attention, handle them outside these blocks. But those 3 things are sacred, non-negotiable. Do this for just 2 days. Don't tell me it won't work for your situation. Don't tell me your job is different. Just try it for 48 hours and see what happens. I'm willing to bet you'll accomplish more in these 2 focused days than you did in the last 2 weeks of to-do list anxiety. And here's the kicker. You'll probably feel less stressed doing it, because your brain isn't constantly negotiating with itself about what deserves your attention. You already decided. Now you just execute. After 48 hours, come back and ask yourself, did I get more meaningful work done or less? Not busy work, meaningful work, the stuff that actually changes your situation. I think you'll know the answer. Your to-do list isn't making you more productive. It's making you feel busy while keeping you stuck. It's a comfort blanket that's actually suffocating your ability to make real progress. The hard truth? You don't have a productivity problem. You have a priority problem. And priorities aren't about doing more. They're about choosing better. 3 priorities, specific time blocks, every single day. That's it. That's the whole system. Now close this video and go schedule tomorrow's 3 non-negotiables. Not 5, not just 4 because tomorrow's different. 3. Your future self is waiting, and for once, you're actually going to show up.
Evening, decide with calm, thoughtful energy. Morning, just execute the plan.